If you were to ask me what my favorite game of all time was, I'd tell you Overwatch. Not just Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1 was one of those games that always sticks with you. I mean, I remember still playing back in 2016. It was a phenomenal game. The community was still kind of flourishing at that time, so we see a lot of content creators, a lot of new things going on. And Overwatch 1 was the pinnacle of gaming. So I was a little upset when Aaron Kellen thought it'd be a really funny idea to just, I don't know, delete the fucking game. Little backstory to Overwatch 2, this was the lead up and sequel to Overwatch 1. It added a 5v5 platform and some really cool PvE content that was promised. I mean, I was so hyped for this game. So, I'm now kind of a little disappointed when Overwatch 2 thought it'd be a really funny idea to announce 6v6 coming to Overwatch 2. Isn't the whole point of Overwatch 2 a 5v5 platform like they said in the trailers?
Of 5 players, consisting of 2 support, 2 DPS, and 1 tank.
At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if Blizzard came in and they're like, guys, Overwatch 1.5 will be coming out in 2026. Thank you. We are hoping to release the game on the PlayStation 6. Thank you. To be honest, when they first announced this, I wasn't that mad. I was actually kind of confused why they're just doing this now. Have you seen the Steam ratings? And after following a certain game company, they have the lowest Steam rating in all of Steam history. Like, that's not good. And after they're not even releasing the PvE content, that even made it worse. Like, Overwatch is on track to be the worst game 4 years in a row. So, I thought about it. Why don't I make a compiled list about Overwatch's failures and talk about what Meatloaf. Yeah, I don't know where this video is going also. If you don't know what I'm talking about, freemium is basically just another term for free-to-play. Freemium games allow players to download and play your game at no cost while offering optional in-app purchases to supplement their experiences. This is basically the free-to-play model that Overwatch 2 follows. Basically, Overwatch 2 at a base game is free, but any Battle Pass or PvE is actually an additional charge. So, like this for example, Overwatch 2 is a free-to-play game. Well, you've been looking at the Battle Pass recently? The Battle Pass looks good. Well, that's $10. You've been looking at the PvE expansion? PvE is going to cost you $15. And maybe you've been eyeing your eye on the May Strawberry skin that everyone loves. That's going to cost you $20. That's not good. And if we look at a graphic of Overwatch to Fortnite, back in 2017, Overwatch was very, very popular back then. Well, now, if you look at the 2019 graph, you can see that Fortnite is more up. And they're probably doing this model because it's just more popular. Like, as Fortnite is very popular. So, if you didn't know, back in Overwatch 1, the base game was $40. You could pick it up at a convenience store, get it off Steam, doesn't matter. But loot boxes were free. Loot boxes gave you anything that you want. You can get like a battle pass. So loot boxes could have been skins, it could have been cosmetics, it could have been weapon skins, it could have been anything. It was so nice that I truly do miss it. And getting it like every 3 to 5 games. So this is kind of like buying a Meatloaf. To imagine this, you're just at a random bar, you're just trying to get food, and the waiter walks up. He's like, "Hey, can I get you anything to order?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been here before. I guess you guys renovated the place, but I'll take your meatloaf." And the waiter's like, "Our famous meatloaf. This meatloaf will be the best meatloaf. We're going to be packing it with 2 other PvE experiences, and we're going to be giving you the most in-depth." And you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll take that, please." And the waiter walks away, and you're like, "Holy shit, this sounds amazing. This sounds like really good. I can't really wait for this meatloaf. Alright, where the fuck's my food?" And the waiter walks back. He's like, "Hi, sir. Here's your food." And you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be This is just a fucking cube of meat." And the waiter's like, "No." Yeah, this is just a cube of meat. Where the fuck's my meatloaf?" "Sir, this is your meatloaf." No, but meatloaf has like ketchup on it and it's cooked. Well, you can get that stuff over at the store. You see, you can get ketchup for 20 bucks, you can get an egg for 10 bucks, and you get some seasoning for 7 bucks. Like, what? Why didn't you tell me this earlier? I wouldn't have bought this meatloaf. You told me it had, like, PvE stuff in it. Like, it would be delicious and everything. Why are you just telling me this now? Well, then you wouldn't have bought the meatloaf. But I don't want the meatloaf then. I don't want to pay 20 bucks for the meatloaf to be complete. You want to buy PvE? To say for starters, Overwatch 2 is just one big scam. I mean, in reality it just is. Overwatch became this community-based game to a money grab cash scheme. If this was actually really prominent in Overwatch 2 in the really infancy days, characters such as Ramantra, Kiriko, Maga were all behind paywalls. And I know it says free up there, but the old battle pass was a fucking chore to complete. Like, going from level 1 to 45 now is easy, but going to level 1 to 45 is storming D-Day. And there was actually a Reddit comment that I found when I was researching this video, and I found really cool and interesting, is that this guy was homesick all week, and he was only at level 30. Ramantra is level 45. And this makes me miss the loot box concept so much, because even if they had the old style of having characters behind something, if you played like 3 games, you would get a loot box. So instead of grinding for a whole week, if you played a game every single day, you would at least get a character. And so, like, you're probably asking yourself, it can't be that bad, right? I mean, they wouldn't charge for PvE, the underdeveloped finished game. How much did they charge that for again? Oh, PvE. Where do I even start with you? PvE was something I was the most excited for when Overwatch 2 was first announced. I mean, the whole point of Overwatch 2, the whole point why they replaced Overwatch 1, was for PvE. They wanted to kind of move away from just having a PvP set-based content map, and they wanted to have a whole roadmap of PvE stuff. I'm talking things that have never been undertaken from such a company. Not even the biggest game companies in the world, such as Valve, or Xbox, or Microsoft, have ever done this before. I mean, we're gonna see talent trees. We're gonna see more lore. I was so hyped to see Baby Winston. You could have also fought Null Sector, or you could have also fought Talent, which, holy shit, that was so cool. And then you could have also done hero missions, a highly replayable co-op that you can do with your friends, and every single hero had one. I'm talking Mercy, Winston, Genji. They all had those hero missions that you can play, and that gave them their own little lore that would expand in the universe. But no other studio has done this before, so like, they can pull this off, right? Surely they can pull this off, right?
Missions that are really exciting. There's brand new enemies that are super fun to fight, and some truly great and ridiculous hero talents. But unfortunately, the effort required to pull all of that together into a Blizzard quality experience that we can ship to you is huge. And there really is no end in sight, or defined kind of end date where we can put that out into the world. And so we're left with another difficult choice. Do we continue to pour all that effort into PvE, hoping that we can land it at some point in the future? Or do we stick with this set of values that we've aligned on and focus on the live game and focus on serving all of you? With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore. And we know that this is going to be disappointing to many of you, which is why we wanted to bring it up before we talked about the roadmap.
I see. So if you didn't know, Overwatch 2's whole concept is now dead, because PvE was the base center, like kind of like the anchor point for Overwatch 2 to even exist, and now that's gone. The only thing holding it together is 5v5 in a negative community. But don't worry, hero missions are still $15. Hero missions right now are like a scrapped up pile of junk that Overwatch just has left over, and they're making you pay for the junk. Yeah, it's something. I'm not a big fan. This is if like you order a meatloaf and you're at a restaurant and you're just browsing the dessert section, wondering what you're gonna get. You're like, oh, tiramisu? I don't know what tiramisu is. And the waiter walks up. He's like, hey, I got something about your meatloaf. And you're like, oh, how's my meatloaf going? It's been, kind of 4 years. I'm a little interested. But, I still got faith in you guys. Well, the kitchen decided to leave. What do you mean the kitchen decided to leave? Yeah, no, they're all gone. Well, what? But I've been waiting for this meatloaf. Like, I wanted this meatloaf so bad. I know. But we will make it up to you. There are some chicken nuggets in the back. Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, I'll take chicken nuggets. Yeah, that sounds actually really good. Yeah. Okay, how much is that gonna be? $15. Fuck you. One game in the world that really needs to listen to the community, it's always gonna be Overwatch. Have you seen their Steam rating? They're gonna be worst game of the year 4 years in a row. That's more of an accomplishment than anything. I mean, when I can go on Google and type reviews for Overwatch, and I can pull up 5 goddamn reviews out of my ass in the first 30 seconds, you know your game is cooked. You know your game is beyond cooked. Your game is not gonna go anywhere. I mean, have you seen the positive comments? The positive comments are just as bad as the negative comments are. Did you see those 2 comments? I didn't see a single difference, because guess what? Both sides hate Overwatch. If I was game director, I would have just quit already. Well, he got the memo. Didn't know, PlayStation was in some hot water with the game recently, Helldivers. And now this is a little bit back a while ago, so it's not as fixed. They fixed everything, by the way. So Helldivers had an account linking update, and a bunch of people were review bombing it because they couldn't play the game. So you want to know what PlayStation did? The following week, they fixed the entire game. So I think a game director should do this, and Overwatch does not do this. Overwatch's game director, for 2 game directors, they have not done a single thing. Like, guys, you're telling me you can't do a single thing after we review bomb them? So here's the thing, it's like you go to PlayStation's and Overwatch's both restaurants to get meatloaf, and you complain about the meatloaf and how it tastes funny. Imagine this, you're in PlayStation's restaurant, and you ask the manager to come because you have a complaint about the meatloaf. The manager comes up, he's like, hey, I heard you had a complaint about the meatloaf. It's like, yeah, the meatloaf was kind of like, it had mold in it, and it was undercooked. And I don't mean to be that guy, but it's like, I just don't want people to come in here and they get all, review bomb you. It's like, do not worry, sir. We are going to be fixing this issue. You're like, really? Wow, that was actually really nice. Thank you. That's never happened to me before. So instead of going to PlayStation's restaurant the next day, you instead go to Overwatch's restaurant because you want to feel adventurous and you're brave, like the rest of the people. And you have the same complaints about the meatloaf. And you ask the waiter to come over here and bring the manager. And the manager comes out. He's like, hey, I already had some complaints about the meatloaf. Like, yeah, the meatloaf was kind of like undercooked. And it had mold in it. Get out. What? Get out of my restaurant. But no, I have like actual complaints. This might drive away customers. Get out. Now. Overwatch does what they do best. They've kind of kept all the magic that they promised to have after scrapping PvE, making everything just unaffordable and making us pay $40 for a bundle, $20 for a skin, having a battle pass system that nobody wants, getting rid of everything that everyone wants. I mean, it's just unacceptable. Like, when I play this game, I'm sad because they got rid of the magic that was once Overwatch 1. And don't get me wrong, they're improving. Like Venture and Juno and all the new heroes. That's amazing. But it doesn't do it. So I have my final review. And that is half a meatloaf. And you're probably wondering, why is it so low? Well, it's only so low because I was going to give it 1 meatloaf. But when I was recording this, I then remembered that back cards still do not exist. Hey, Blizzard, if you're listening to this, bring back black cards before I strap a bomb to myself and I come over to your headquarters, okay? Alright, bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed the video.
No charges left. For you. Reloading.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
What can I say? When I want something,
Raina, jeez. Leave some for the rest of us.
Anyone need anything?
Or don't. I'm sorry.
Need a drop.
Thank you.
Need a drop.
I'm
Thank
saving.
you.